Today's tutorial is going to be the best villager breeder that you've ever seen. This villager breeder is incredibly easy to build, requiring not very many blocks. You have two options to choose from: an infinite option, which will infinitely breed the villagers as long as they have enough food by dropping the babies down into a second village, or a fixed breeder, allowing you to breed the specific number of villagers that you want. This is a clean breeder, meaning the babies get no food in their inventory, which can be important for some crop farms that you may build with the villagers. To make building this farm easier, the materials needed to build it are on screen right now. I've provided a download for the world and structure files, as well as the holoprint download in the description down below. If you enjoy these tutorials, let the YouTube algorithm know it by clicking the like button and subscribing to the channel right now. Now, let's move into the tutorial. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set up the catch chamber down below our eventual spawning chamber. And you can put this thing at two different levels, and I will show you the two different levels as we get further in. This level is going to be 77 blocks below the upper level, and the closer level, if you don't want infinite villager spawning, will be much closer to our actual spawn chamber. So we're going to go ahead and give ourselves a 5x5 space to catch the villagers in, just so we have plenty of room for the villagers to land here and not kind of fall out to the side and possibly die. We're going to have this chamber be 3 blocks tall, and you don't have to use glass here where I have, but I've decided to use glass so that way you guys can see the inside of the chamber easier. We only need water in one spot, which is going to be right here, and we're going to put that block there just so we get a little bit extra distance on that water. So we want to push all of the villagers to this corner right here. Now, we're going to set up a little rail track here. I'm going to knock out this block and put a dispenser. Knock out this block and put a solid block there. We're going to have a powered rail here, a regular rail here, and then from there you can kind of have this go to wherever you want it to go to. We're going to put a button right here. And then we need to put minecarts inside of here to take our villagers. Now, the number of minecarts you use is totally up to you. You could just have one and keep reusing the one, or you could get a whole bunch of them and fill this thing up. And fill this thing up just like this. You can even go as far as getting yourself even more by putting a hopper and a chest on top and filling that up with minecarts as well. It just depends on whatever you find is most convenient for you. Minecarts are pretty cheap, so doing a lot of them is not really that big of a deal. And then eventually what will happen is our villagers that fall in here, they'll get pushed to that corner, and then they will actually be able to kind of like glitch through the corner and be close enough into the corner to where when we dispense a minecart, it will actually be able to pick them up and move them. Now, we need a bed to be outside of here because we do need this area to be established as a village, because this will matter when it comes to moving the villagers out of the village that we're creating above. A villager plus a bed equals a village as far as the game is concerned. Now, we want to go from this middle spot right here. We want to go up 77 blocks from this spot. You could go more than that is fine, but don't go less because you'll risk the villages merging together and it messing up the infinite breeding mechanic that we're going to be implementing. Okay, so once you've gotten up here, you're probably going to want to have some kind of platform to build off of or something like that. But we want to, on one side, put a glass pane or iron bars. And you're going to put one off of one of the sides and then put another where that solid block was. So you'll have two of them just like this. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to put a temporary block there and then a permanent block right here. And we're going to surround this, leaving a 1 block gap in between. We're actually going to have this go probably like 3 blocks down because we want to make sure that the villagers don't move too far over to where they don't land in our little water pit below. Something like that should be pretty good. We need to bring it up 1 more level, so it's 1 block above the glass panes there. Then we're going to come in by 1 and then surround this area like this. And then right here is where our 2 villagers are going to go. We can also take a bed, put 1 bed here, put 1 bed here, and put a 3rd bed right here. You only need 3 beds for the infinite breeding version. for the non-infinite breeding version. We'll talk about that here in just a couple moments. Next, you're going to need to get 2 villagers in here. Doesn't matter what they are. That guy's a nitwit. It's fine. It doesn't matter. If you want to learn how to move villagers a little bit easier and better, I do have videos for moving villagers. Check that out. I'm not going to show it here. Lots of easy ways to move villagers. And then they have linked to these beds here. And now all we should need to do, if everything works properly here, is just give them a bunch of food. Potatoes and carrots are usually easiest, but if you can get a bunch of bread, bread's going to last the longest. And these guys are going to infinitely breed for the amount of food that you've given them until they've run out of food. So you could throw a whole bunch down. That's sitting there. That's fine. If you want to like get down in there and get it somehow, probably easiest to do it from below. You can, just so there's not extra food sitting there. We don't need that. I'm just going to toss it out. And here in a moment, these guys should start breeding. Now, the reason that they're going to breed is because there's 3 beds. If there was only 2 beds, they would not breed, but 3 or more, and they will. Villagers will continue to breed until there is 1 villager for every bed available. So what they'll do is they will create a 3rd villager right here. That villager will shortly be inside of this village or part of this village, meaning that this village's cap is full, but he will fall down. He will drop into here, and now he will link with this bed, and this villager will now be part of this village. It has now left that village up above, which means that these guys can now breed again and create another villager that will drop down and change down to this village. Now in Bedrock Edition, there is no like cooldown timer, at least that I know of, for villagers to breed. As soon as these guys aren't distracted by me, they'll start breeding again. If you want them to be able to breed even quicker, put down a 4th bed. That way, whenever one of the villagers moves down there to the other village, it doesn't temporarily clog up this village here. So we put down the 4th bed. You'll see these guys will breed. They'll make another baby villager. That baby villager will drop down. It will then move to this village down below. And then this village right here will be able to create another villager. And there they go. They have hearts again. It took maybe, I don't know, 15, 20, 30 seconds, something around there. And they decided to breed again. And then they will drop another villager down. And they will do this until they run out of food. Because every time villagers breed, they do use up some of the food that they have in their inventory to do that breeding. Breeding is hard work. It makes them get hungry. We're gonna change this slightly. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a solid block right here so I can dispense out this way, but then I'm going to hit another button to send that off. That way, that cart can sit there long enough for the villager to get in it before it's sent off on its way. So again, infinite breeding is happening now. Now, we're too far away from those villagers to keep them breeding. That's why you haven't seen any more drop down. If I get up close enough to these guys, you see they're loaded now. They'll breed again. Now, what if you don't want an infinite breeder? What if you only want to get a certain number of villagers and then you want the system to stop? Well, that's totally fine. See this little area right here? Well, watch this. I'm just going to give it a floor. I'm going to break in here for a moment. Long enough to put a singular water bucket right there. I'm going to break this corner out. And the same thing I did down there, I could just do it here instead. So put this guy here, put this guy here, put this here, put a button here, a button here. Get some minecarts in there. And then now I can breed these guys up to however many villagers I want to have. And I will get 1 villager for every extra bed that I add. So let's keep track of it this way. This is where my beds for these villagers are going to go. And then let's say I want to get 10 villagers out of these guys. Super simple. I'm just going to add 10 beds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So now these guys will give me 10 villagers and 10 villagers only. Once I get those out, I know I have the exact amount of villagers that I want, and then I can send them on their way. So you could use either one of these depending on how many villagers you want or how much resources you want to spend. You're going to have to be able to make a lot more beds to get a lot of villagers this way versus that way. But if you don't want to have a billion villagers get made, because they will keep cranking them out until they run out of that food, then you can do this method to get the exact number of villagers that you want. Otherwise, you may not just want to put this thing way up in the air. Maybe just want it to be on the ground, and you don't want to have to dig a big hole or anything like that. Using this way right here is going to be a little bit easier to have the villager breeder be part of your base or wherever it is you want to put it, because it doesn't need to go in the air if you do it this way. But yeah, as you can see, those guys, they're breeding up, and those villagers, they're coming out. That's all there is to it. This is about as easy of a villager breeder as you can get. And also, those baby villagers, they come out clean. They don't have any food in their inventory, meaning if you need clean villagers for some reason, for like a wheat or beetroot farm is the main reasons you would need one, this is going to give it to you. Those villagers have no food in them, and they can be used for anything that you need to use them for. If you enjoyed this video, the like button is down below. Go ahead and click it. Subscribe to the channel. Most of you guys aren't subscribed. Do a Prowler a favor. Click the subscribe button. Let that YouTube algorithm know that you like these videos. I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.